A reminder of some breaking news in the last few minutes. We're hearing that German media are reporting that suspect who drove a van into crowds of people at that Pride parade and has been killed. He was shot by police, we're hearing. One person died in the attack and more than 24 were wounded. Officials say it was an Islamist terror attack. Now, the suspect that you're looking at right now, he has been called Abdul Balout, a German citizen with Lebanese roots. And the suspect was found in a borough just west of Berlin. Let's go live to Sky's Molly Malone now. Just bring us up to speed, Molly, with what German media are reporting.
Well, clearly a fast-developing situation, a fast-developing police investigation. But a number of German media outlets now reporting that the main suspect in this case, who they suspected of driving a van into a crowd of people here in the very heart of Berlin yesterday evening, they believe now they've found him, they've shot him and they've killed him in a police operation around 40 minutes from where this attack took place yesterday evening in a place called Spandau, which is to the northwest of Berlin. We've been hearing from the Attorney General here in the last couple of hours and have learnt some more information about the suspect. We know that police believed he was a German citizen, 21-year-old Abdul B, as they've been calling him here, a German citizen with Islamist connections. The Attorney General office saying that he was originally arrested last year in November, both in Berlin and in Lebanon, thought to be, say the authorities here, sympathetic to ISIS, and indeed had been searching his apartment in a raid yesterday evening. A German citizen, as I say, with Islamist connections. Clearly now, German media suggesting that he's been shot and killed. But next in the investigation will be, did he have accomplices and what motivated him to carry out this attack at the heart of Berlin, just a stone's throw away from Brandenburg Gate, the heart of this city, a city that had been celebrating hundreds of thousands of people coming to the streets to celebrate, to party, to have a good time. What was it that motivated him to carry out this attack?
And Molly, the people behind you that we can see now, they've come, haven't they, to pay their respect. I wonder if you can just help us understand just the mood of the people where you are.
Yeah, it's incredibly sombre. At times it's been almost silent reflection, people coming to reflect here, to lay candles, to lay flowers. We've seen people hugging each other, crying, but many of them actually not saying very much, just being pretty quiet, reflecting on what happened less than 24 hours ago now. We know, of course, that one woman was killed and 29 people were injured as that van mowed into a crowd of people that were having a good time, celebrating diversity, celebrating love. Together, we've been told as well that 3 of those people are said to be in a life-threatening condition. People here incredibly upset, concerned of what's going on, concerned about the approach by the authorities to the police, how this could have happened in what was otherwise a happy parade. People that I've been speaking to here were having a great time. They were having a great time with each other, enjoying themselves. And actually many, as the event unfolded, as that attack unfolded yesterday evening, didn't know what was happening. People were at concerts and all of a sudden just heard screams, heard fear, but didn't know what was happening. Now, police will be beginning to put together that information, work out exactly why last night happened, what the motivation was, and whether their main suspect, now believed to be shot and killed just 40 minutes away from here, whether he had accomplices that was helping him drive this attack yesterday evening.
And Molly, throughout the day, we have heard from the German Chancellor, we've heard from the police, we've heard from the Interior Minister in Germany, and in particular, the Interior Minister saying, we can't rule out the possibility of further attacks, of copycat attacks. So the threat level in Berlin, across Germany, will have risen.
Yeah, and that will be incredibly concerning to people that will want to know that what happened last night perhaps was an isolated event, and that the authorities not being able to give that reassurance will be incredibly concerning to the people here that have described themselves as a family, that feel that they have been targeted in an attack that they feel has come from nowhere, although sadly Germany and Berlin in particular is no stranger to attacks. They've seen similar attacks like this in the past, a number of people losing their lives, a couple of years ago, another in 2016, attacking a crowded Christmas market. So people certainly with questions as they feel that their community has been attacked.
Molly, let's just recap what exactly happened. If people are just joining us now, this was a Pride event. It was 10 o'clock in the evening, you know, hot and sticky weather, people drinking, coming together to celebrate diversity, to celebrate love. And then very quickly, it turned quite dark.
Yeah, and what's quite eerie actually there is the fact that as we were walking up here, we saw just in the growth behind me, the van used in this attack being carried away by a police vehicle and yet scattered down the paths as signs of that party, of signs of bottles, of wine bottles, of litter, of people having a great time. And yet behind me, remembering the people that were attacked, behind me, taken down that path, was the van that was used to attack people here that feel that it was targeted, feel that it was them under threat, and want the authorities really to try and properly understand why this happened and why they were targeted. Because, you know, many people here, as I said to you, describe themselves as part of a family. They feel that they should be able to celebrate, they should be able to have a great time. But the very fact that it was 10 o'clock last night, in the height of this celebration, drawing in hundreds of thousands of people. This Pride in Berlin was actually different in the sense that the celebrations were across the weekend. Normally you see them just for one day. Instead, this time they were across the entire weekend, and people were really, really excited about it. A man that I caught up with about half an hour ago, a man called Daniel, said up until about 10 o'clock last night, it was his favourite Pride that he'd ever been to, and he comes very regularly, and yet then things took a really, really horrific turn, and he really found it quite difficult to talk about, actually. He was just about 400 yards down there, and you might have seen some video this evening of people on stage at a concert at the Pride event yesterday evening telling people, but not being 100% clear about what was happening, because people at that moment didn't know, but saying, you know, you need to evacuate, you need to leave. And he said that fear of knowing that perhaps something was happening and not knowing why and not knowing what and not knowing who was pretty terrifying. But once again, he said he knew that he felt that it was his community, his family, in his words, that were under attack.
And that's a really important point that you make there, Molly, because the German Chancellor, when he spoke earlier today, he wanted that message to the people to be that they shouldn't be intimidated by fear, and that they will fight to protect the freedom of not only the city but the country as a whole, and not to let division and intimidation wreak havoc with how they're feeling emotionally about heading out to further events across the city.
Yeah, Berlin, I think, is a city that would pride itself on being a tolerant society, on being a society that accepts different people, that accepts culture, that accepts diversity. And that is exactly what people here were doing last night. They were celebrating that diversity. And yeah, as you say, the authorities today coming out pretty defiant, actually, saying that, you know, we must not accept this, we must be defiant, we must go forward and celebrate our freedom and celebrate our diversity. But right now, the shock, less than 24 hours on, it is really quite something, and people here taking a few moments to reflect.
And just while we have you, Molly, let's just recap also this breaking news then, because the main suspect that police have been spending the whole day trying to find, they found him and shot him. Just recap all of that once before we leave you.
Yeah, so this is reports now coming from a number of different German media outlets suggesting that the main suspect in this case, 21-year-old Abdul B, a German citizen, which throughout the course of the day we've been hearing from authorities saying that he had Islamist connections, had some suggesting, the Attorney General's office suggesting that he was sympathetic to ISIS, has been shot and killed in a police operation at an allotment some 40 minutes away from here. Clearly now the next part of the investigation will be looking at, did he have accomplices, who were they, and why, what was the motive behind this attack?